countdown, but it's all good. What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is season 2, episode 10 of Landman. We are back after a couple week hiatus with scheduling and everything, but this episode was called Tragedy and Flies, and I must say, man, I was pretty pleased with this episode. I was pretty happy with the episode. Um, Marcy, what were your thoughts initially of this episode?
Finally, a good episode. You know, we've been talking throughout this whole season pretty much after the first couple episodes that we've been just very frustrated with the pace and the content of this season, and we weren't sure where Taylor was going to take it, and just frustrated by some of his choices. So finally a good episode. It really sets us up for season 3, so now I'm excited about it, and I'm glad that we shit talked before, because hopefully that put it out into the universe that this episode needed to be good, and luckily it was.
I just wish that he didn't wait until episode 10 to start, having good dialogue. Like, where was his energy at for the first 9 episodes of this season? I mean, we've had pockets of like good dialogue here and there, but like for the amount of actors that's on the show, quality actors, Sam Elliott, Demi Moore, Bob Thornton, all these quality actors, Emmy nominations left and right, Oscar nominations left and right. I just expected the writing to be so much better. I'm hoping that they found the nucleus or found the formula to go into season 3 with some momentum. I must say, so I know it was very critical of the Ainsley's roommate and how that was written in episode, I want to say episode 8, or it might have been 7, I can't remember, but it was very it didn't look like it was going anywhere. And I must say, in episode 10, I feel like they kept the best for last when it came to like kind of pushing that message and awareness of trans people and in the non-binary movement. What would you take away from the, I guess, overall that arc so far of Ainsley's roommate and what that meant for episode 10 and hopefully for the season?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of people are frustrated. I definitely was, of how it was set up, because it did sound very much like it was just going to be like this dog whistle of like, oh, see, like non-binary people are weird, like, they deserve not to be respected or whatever. But I'm glad that it was reframed as to like, okay, like they were both in the wrong at first. Like Pagan was like way too rigid with her, trying to like set some boundaries, and then Ainsley like could have handled it better and like try to handle it in a more grown-up way than just running to her mom. So I'm glad that they were finally able to like really start to get to know and understand each other and try to again work together to sort these issues out without having to resort to calling your mom or just kind of like moving out. So I like where it seems to be going, to like really humanize not only Pagan, but also the Ainsley character. And I love how she was able to kind of step up and defend Pagan against like those little high school boys that had shit to say. But also how, Pagan could have, after their first interaction at the dorm, could have like not helped her, could have just been like, well, her ankles are weak, but too bad, like she'll figure it out once like her ankles hurt or she gets injured. But Pagan was also able to see past that, and like try to help Ainsley without kind of bringing their baggage into it.
Yeah, I must admit, like we've rooted for growth for Ainsley for the better part of 2 seasons, and like I felt like we saw the growth tenfold in this one episode. Just having the self-awareness and understanding of what that meant for Pagan, and like and how sticking up for her meant for Pagan as well. Like you can tell just how Pagan moves on that track team, that she's highly respected. And if I was to pick about one part about that scene, was you could tell like her her training mates, the guy stepped up for her and was trying to have her back, and like and he got clowned by high school kids. The training the track coach, you know, kind of bigged up Ainsley about backing her up. My question was, how do you let a bunch of high school kids do that at a track practice and nobody like step to those kids and throw them out? Why did it take an 18-year-old freshman to like go up there and police? That was kind of like confusing to me. Like all these grown men, all these administrators that's at this track practice, and nobody wanted to go regulate. It took an 18-year-old freshman to regulate. That was my one beef about that scene.
It's TCU, you know, there's rich kids around. They probably think that they can just kind of stroll up to that practice and start talking mess and nobody's going to say anything. So yeah, I didn't really think too much of it, of like why they were there, or like why wasn't anybody else saying anything. But I'm glad that Ainsley did kind of take it, you know, take it upon herself to stand up for Pagan. And I'm glad that Pagan didn't like, because it could have gone the way of like Pagan could have been like, oh, like you don't need to stand up for me. Like I can stand up for myself, and like have them react in that way instead of like having like this quiet gratitude. So I'm also glad that it it was taken well on Pagan's part, that Ainsley was trying, and it didn't seem like Ainsley was doing it to like show off or to like look good in front of the coach. It, you know, it did really look sincere. So I think that's why Pagan also kind of took it in a positive way rather than like in a condescending way of being like, well, you don't need to stand up for me. Like we're not even friends, or, you know, I can stand up for myself.
Yeah, I was very pleased with the route that they took. I did not see that happening. I thought honestly, I thought the episode where Ainsley moved out was the last was gonna see of Pagan. So I'm glad that they added the element of her actually being a trainer on this team. So we'll see more of those interactions going forward. I must say, man, I was really impressed. I didn't think Taylor would bring that kind of element to the MAGA and the conservative fans who love this show. So shout out to him to show some, shed light on that population and like really educate a little bit too. So shout out to Taylor for that. Um, let's go to another female character in this season. Let's talk about Wifey. So she didn't get much screen time or much dialogue, I should say, in the finale, but I also saw maturity from her as well. She gets the news from Galino's wife that Tommy got fired, got released, let go, given his walking papers, and she's all pissed. She calls Tommy and like about to blow a fuse, and Tommy calms her down like, "Hey, I got this. I have a plan for us." And I must say, I was really surprised by how that phone call ended because a lot of times she's pretty much on brand every single time. She like Angela is very much on brand. She's explosive, you know, curse word this, curse word that, all that kind of stuff. And like there was a calmness when I guess hearing that tone, it led me to believe that she just had faith. Like there was no proof that Tom was gonna figure this out, but like this calmness that she had from that scene on to the end of the episode of like, I believe in you. We're gonna be all right. Tell me where I need to be. Even the end of the episode when she's kind of like telling him like, hey, you know, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. I believe in you. And like from what we saw in season one, what we learned, pretty much Angela leaving Tommy, in '08 when the market crashed and pretty much leaving him high and dry. You got a different Angela here, and I must admit, I thought I was going to get much more of the same of her potentially leaving him. What was your thoughts when she got that news from Galino's wife? What was your initial thoughts? Did you think it would go the way that it went, or you thought it might go a different direction?
I thought it definitely would go another direction like you. I thought she would be maybe like more upset, or that would maybe cause her to want to like really rethink these things. But I'm glad that Tommy was able to be honest and articulate and be like, okay, like I didn't tell you because I'm trying to like find the solution, and wasn't just kind of like lying more about it, or just like giving her like some bullshit or anything like that. So I'm glad that he was able to be as honest as he could after, she found out that he was fired. And I'm glad that she was able to just kind of listen and, again, like, take it down a notch and not just kind of like go from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. But I also, when I was rewatching it just a little while ago, thinking like I want to be Bella, because like you get to be like super rich and married to like this super rich guy, and you're like swimming in the morning and people are making you breakfast, and then like your job pretty much as his wife is to like go have lunch and then like start shit, because he, before she left, he was like, like, don't reveal too much and like answer every question with another question. And then, they talked about like, do you think he told her? And then that's kind of what made her like the first thing she did after saying, oh, like this place is so cute and I recommend you eat the beef Wellington or like the blue crab salad or whatever. It's like, oh, like, how's it going for Tommy? I thought he'd be here taking meetings, and like start like be that shit stir. So I'm like, that must be nice. Be like super rich, pampered, and like a professional shit stir. Like that's goals.
If they had a son, I'd love to be the son. If they have kids, or just like just the best of everything, I would love to start shit. I wouldn't mind starting shit and get paid a weekly allowance of 8,000 a week. Who knows? No, but no, Bella's living. She's definitely living that life, and it really showed her intellect too, like that she's more than just a Stepford wife. Like
Yeah.
she's very cunning. She's very very intelligent. She knows the game. She knows how to move in this world. It makes me wonder, like, she does know more of Galino's side outside of like oil. Maybe she does know about the cartel life too. But no, even how she handled that, and like how she kind of like got in front of Galino, like, no, I got this. I know how to move. Like that was, I found that kind of attractive. I ain't gonna front. I hope to see more of her
Yeah.
next season. I really like her character. She's very. You can tell like how she walks. She can walk in and out of rooms and be the best of them. She knows how to. She knows how to, you know, walk. Just kind of flow with whatever crowds in the room in that particular
Mhm.
time. And, yeah, I was very very impressed with that.
One
For
thing
sure.
that was just kind of annoying, when she's telling Galino that she's going to meet with Angela, she's like, "Oh, her daughter goes to TCU and she doesn't know anybody here," but they lived in Alito for a long time, which is only like 20 minutes or like 20 miles from Fort Worth. So Angela should know people in Dallas, Fort Worth, in Fort Worth. Alito is not that far. It's just like a few, not too far down the road.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that just didn't make sense. They made it seem like it's kind of like fish out of water. And it's like she doesn't know anybody here in Fort Worth. And it's like, bitch, you just lived in Fort Worth pretty much.
And not just lived in Fort Worth. Like you was married to a rich man in Fort Worth, so you had
Yep.
the connections everywhere that you wanted connections in. You was in every room that you wanted to be in.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was definitely, I definitely see a point in that. Um, so I guess Cooper, Ariana, and Rebecca are all kind of like rolled into one in this episode. So we found out episode 9 that that Ariana is about to get R word, and Cooper saves her and beats the guy to a bloody pulp. But we found out episode 10 that he beat him so badly that he died from his injuries. I'm not gonna lie to you, didn't feel bad for the guy. I'm just one less asshole and one less potential sexual assaulter on the streets. Totally fine
Mhm.
with that. But I was really surprised, and maybe it's just me, knowing that Tommy has the connections that he has in the Permian Basin. I was surprised by how Cooper was being handled by the police and the detectives there. Like, Tommy's been there for years. He has, even the sheriff knows who he is. Like, he has walked in and out of trouble. He has buried things. He moves a certain way. he called the police to come beat up people after Cooper in season one. Like I was really surprised by how he was handled by the FBI and the detectives on this case. But yeah, so it sounds like from what we saw in the beginning of the episode that he's on a hook for murder. And Ariana is, after Ariana gets questioned and all of that, she's outside for a long time, and she's worried because Cooper's been in the interrogation room for it seemed like for hours, and Rebecca's on the way. She comes and saves the day. Um, every Rebecca scene, I tend to do this. I tend to like move an inches off my seat to see what she's gonna do and how she's gonna do it. Um, again, she just comes in and saves the day and brings in her legal experience and wrecks shop. What was your thought process through that whole scene with Rebecca, coming to save the day?
I loved it. Like fierce Rebecca is back, right? Like we don't have like whiny, cryy Rebecca because some man told her she would end up alone. She's back and she's fierce. And like to your point of how Cooper was treated, yeah, like Tommy was like kind of a big name there, but it turns out like that other guy was like also in like the oil and gas industry and like higher ups and like people more important than Tommy were like, oh, we don't like how this looks. So that also goes to show like just power dynamics and like, yeah, we think Tommy's the man, but there's always like bigger fish in that ocean. But I like that Ariana like had the smarts and like the quickness to be like, oh, like I'll call Rebecca, right? Because I probably in that moment would have been too like in shock to even be thinking straight, to even be like, oh yeah, like that one lawyer like a year ago that tried, or like a few months ago that tried to like screw me out of like the settlement. Let me call her. So I'm glad that she was able to do that. I'm glad that Rebecca was also able to be like, this isn't about like, oh, like you guys outsmarted me and beat me whenever it was like time to do the payouts. It's like, oh, somebody tried to like assault you, like say less, like I will like handle this. So I'm glad that she was able um to kind of like spring into action. I don't know if maybe it was because she's like girl code and like, somebody tries to do that to another woman, like I'm gonna fight for her. But also I'm probably certain that it's also like some type of loyalty to Tommy, because even though they're not like super close, like they've been working together now probably for like the better part of probably close to a year now. So they've developed like, I would think, like trust more so than just like a friendship. I think like they have like a trust of each other. So I think part of that is like, okay, like I also need to do this for Tommy because we may not be besties, but I still respect him in a way, and he has also shown me respect, and he's had my back. So I'm glad that Rebecca sprang into action and saved the day and got there super quick. And she had all the facts to be like, oh, Detective Miller, you shot this guy 11 times because he was carrying a pipe wrench, like, and they all hit center mass. So he was definitely not a threat after the first shots, but then you kept on shooting him. So she came armed with facts.
Not only that, she can't arm her facts as she was driving to the station. So like,
Yeah.
she's like, I don't know who she called or how she got those files, but she got there
Mhm.
like in no time was able to pull up all those files from those police officers. Um, it that scene bothered me so much. Rebecca was great. Cooper, I 10 out of 10, any father, any spouse, any man whose daughter, wife, whoever gets assaulted is going to do that, like without a doubt. I guess for me, it made me so uncomfortable because it's a walking reminder that men just do a very they do a very bang up job of not like valuing women's protection, of women's safety. These are detectives, bro. These are people who are sworn to like hold the letter of the law,
Mhm.
and like this man is engaged to this woman who he loves dearly. These guys are fathers and husbands, and for the way that they handled Cooper was just like it was stomach turning. Like you see, like, and what boggled my mind was you have the tape, like
Mhm.
watching this totality. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing, like if because my fear was, and Marshall, we talked about this. My fear was, well, what if the tape, what if the surveillance camera broke, or like it only caught like the last 30 seconds of him beating this guy's ass? But no, like it caught the whole fucking thing, and like they focused on Cooper just piling on this guy. But like, you did you not use that same energy to focus on the first 3 minutes of her being assaulted and beat up and all of that? That was so shocking to me, how this young man whose father is such a fixture in this town, with the oil and everything, his influence, how he was treated. Like it makes me wonder, like, what if that was a black dude or a Hispanic man? What how would he have been handled? You know what I'm saying? Like it gave me a lot of thoughts. I watched that scene a couple times, and each time I watched it, I was just more uncomfortable and just more pissed off that how Cooper was being handled. And this poor Cooper, man, he can't seem to catch a break. He can't. Willis getting beat up by Ariana's cousins, or signing a contract that he didn't really read, like the fine print of like not much money coming his way for the first however years, or you know potentially going to jail for manslaughter or murder. Like this kid cannot catch a break. It's so wild to me. But
Yeah. I mean, everything you said is spot on. Was I shocked? No. I mean, was I angry? Of course. Yeah. Was I shocked? Hell no. I mean, it is what, February 3rd, 2026, when we are recording this. We've had so many of the files dropping and nobody cares. And
yeah, yeah,
it's pretty indicative of, if somebody is important enough, law enforcement is going to turn a blind eye, even if like that cop, that detective, like they know in their heart as a person that what that guy did was wrong and they should pay for it. They know that as a professional, as a cop or as a detective, somebody higher up is telling them like look the other way. So I hope that they were also just kind of like, fuck, I hate that we have to do this. But no, I mean, especially in like smaller, well, I mean, Midland, Odessa is small, but it's not like teeny tiny. It's not like super podunk, but it's like a smaller area where like one industry like kind of rules everything. So it makes sense that some people are going to be protected, and women, especially like a Hispanic woman, is going to be seen as disposable to, protect the industry, or like a more powerful man, a more powerful white man.
that had been one powerful white man to like kind of like supersede Tommy's influence. You know what I'm saying? I guess I didn't really give that much thought about how influential that guy was, and I guess how much business he brought to Midland. I guess for whatever company he worked for. Um,
Rest in hell, dude.
right.
Don't rest in peace.
Rest in peace, bro. Absolutely, absolutely. So back to Tommy. So it looks like he's forming the Avengers. From what I
Yes.
gather, right? Like he's forming the Oreo Avengers. So I will say this, without really talking about it much, you can tell whether it's Dale, Boss, Nate, the 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 blinding loyalty they have for Tommy. Because I thought how it was gonna go after Cammy fired Tommy. I thought that this was gonna be like a split, right? Like I thought Nate might be like, well, shit, I got a job, and Boss would be like, well, shit, let me just stay here, and Dale might have been, have leading to Tommy. I thought it'd be a split as far as loyalty, but without saying much, man, without a shadow of a doubt, when Tommy got fired, they was like, man, what you want to do? We come with you. What's up? And like, and for Nate to even fly to take that flight to Fort Worth and tell Cammy to her face, like, look, man, I'm not taking that president's job, and on top of that, you need to sell this company because it's not built. It wasn't built for legacy. It was built to get in, make your money, and sell that motherfucker. And for I was surprised that Nate even said that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Nate was gonna possibly deny taking the job but stay on as a lawyer. But seeing that just kind of like put a nail in the coffin and like how much loyalty Tommy has, and then like also how Tommy has treated those guys over the years, because that loyalty is not returned unless Tommy shows that same loyalty. So just talk about that, and like was you surprised by the how absolute loyal those guys were, or do you thought it might go another way, or just talk about just to give your thoughts on that.
Yes and no. Dale for sure. I'm like, Dale is like 100% always down to like to ride for Tommy. So like that is a given. For Nate, at first it was interesting because a little bit of how he was playing it made me like start to think like, is Nate double crossing Tommy? Because like when she called him to Fort Worth, I was like, okay, like he's scared to go to Fort Worth, and like, you know, Tommy said that they might make him president, so that might make him want to stay. But then when Tommy was like, "Hey Nate, like I'm gonna like also go to Fort Worth on the jet," and you know Nate's kind of like, "Well, I don't think you should be on the jet if you don't work here anymore." And I was like, "Motherfucker, Nate, what are you doing?" And then like when he's meeting with Cammy and she's like, "Oh yeah, like we found all of these files in the basement, and they had never been digitized. Like they were like, then this was done to hide them." I was like, holy shit, is Nate like the one that like orchestrated everything with like Monty? Like, is he behind it? Is he like about to double cross everybody? And then like he obviously told her like, no, like that was all Monty's doing. I didn't agree with it, but you know, like I'm just the lawyer and I'm not taking this job, and like you need to like sell this. I was like, oh God. I was so afraid that he was about to like be like the double crosser and like that was going to be a twist. So I was like, okay, phew, we dodged that bullet. So like Nate is back. So no, I wasn't like shocked or anything that they were loyal to Tommy, because like you said, like Tommy has shown loyalty to them and he's taking care of them, and they're going to show that loyalty right back. And for like Boss and the crew, I think what might have seemed like an unimportant scene a couple episodes ago where they're at like Boss's like 20th anniversary like party of, you know, him working at MTEX, and you know he gets the watch, you know, and he's like, I've had 20 years in, like who knows how many more I have. So that kind of lets us see like, okay, like he was ready to move on and like try something new now that he's like put in all these years at MTEX. So I love like this new Avengers crew, but I will be so mad that if in season 3 anything happens to these guys, because we've already had like the one guy that like had the gas situation, and like now we don't know, did they ever say if like he could see again? Like I don't think that was ever resolved.
Nah, if I remember that all they said was he had a long recovery and he was released from the hospital.
So I will be so upset because they're doing kind of what Yellowstone did, was that in the first couple seasons, we knew that the bunkhouse and the cowboys like were there, but they weren't really part of like the story. They were just kind of like in the periphery. Now it seems going into season 3, the, you know, the crew, the oil hands are going to start taking more of a role into the actual story, kind of like the bunkhouse and the cowboys did in Yellowstone. And like we really got to love them. And we know what happened with some of those cowboys, and Taylor like ripped them away from us. So I will be so mad if he kills these guys, because I've started to like them and be invested. So Taylor, season 3, nothing harmful better befall this crew, because I will be so upset, especially Boss, because he's worked for 20 years and we can't have him die because he's got that nice family and the wife and the house. So you've been warned.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised Boss took the job, because did he say in that episode he was looking to retire like in 2 years or in a year?
Yeah, but like this probably seems like an exciting opportunity, and maybe he's also thinking like this might not even work. So like I can like retire. I have money stashed away. I try this with Tommy for a while. If it doesn't work, who gives a shit? Like, I'll still retire. Like, I ain't worried about it.
Right? Okay, okay. Let's talk about Galeno and Tommy, man. So we know Galeno's all in with Cammy, and it looks like Galeno could lose millions, and Cammy could be on the hook for it, right? So Tommy is like, look, I got one more ace in my sleeve to go ahead and get this and go ahead and make something happen. So he cut the deal with Galeno, and pretty much the deal is he's gonna this this LAC no LS what do they call it, business LCC I'm butchering this,
LLC?
LLC, thank you, LLC, uh TCC or TTC and cattle apparently. So it was a domain that could fly under the radar, I guess. But he's pretty much putting all his eggs in his basket of like cutting a new deal with Galeno with the six rigs that Cooper has, plus the land plus the land they still haven't drilled on that they can drill on. And I think he got, was it 40 million up front from Galeno, that check for 50-50 split
Yeah, I
moving
think it
forward.
was like 40 million, but then I think he's like, he upped it like a couple more million to be
Okay.
able to, like, pay off like the Cooper thing. So like they would be square with that and like they wouldn't get in trouble for that.
And then Tommy said that whatever losses Cammy has, he'll swallow those losses. That part kind of confused me, because if he's fired from Texel, why are you trying to swallow up any losses for Cammy in case Cammy doesn't come through on that drill in Louisiana? That kind of confused me a little bit.
Well, because I think he still cares for her. So he does, like, I mean, even though Galeno's like, if we end up losing with MTEX, he's like, I'm not gonna come after her. Like, I'm not gonna like have her murdered or anything. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, you know, like I'm not, nothing bad's gonna happen to her. Like if I lose this money, right? But I think like Tommy still cares about her and is like, you know what? Like I still want her to be protected, and it's something that Monty didn't seem to like care about her. Maybe he did care about it, but he maybe thought he had more time to do it and he didn't have enough time, and like she's in this mess. So I think it was Tommy's way of like still looking out for Cammy, even though she fired him. That kind of also shows Tommy's character of, um, like Cammy's not just like his former boss. That's like his friend, and like they have a history together and things like that. So I definitely do think it's just him caring about her and doesn't, want her to like have anything bad happen. Even if Galeno doesn't hurt her, like you still lose a lot of money, like you're still on the hook for tons of money, and um, you know, he's being a gentleman.
Do you think do you think Cammy sells in season three, or you think she holds on and moves forward with this drilling in Louisiana?
I think she moves on, and I think things don't go well. And we'll have to see how she handles that. And then does Galeno really keep up his bargain if not going after her? Or, is she really going to be covered by like the CTT leases? Or like, is CTT not going to hit on some of these wells and they're not going to make the money that they're thinking they're going to make? And then who's going to be able to cover for like the loan that Galeno gave CTT and like for however he's helping MTEX and Cammy? So that could also be like the tension in season 3 of like, oh, nobody's getting money, and now what's going to happen? How is Galeno going to handle that?
I just find it hard to believe that we won't see Cartel Galeno in season three. Like, think about this. Galeno he's in deep financially with not just Cammy but Tommy as well. And I just and Galeno said himself, like, look, man, if you fuck me on this, I'm gonna take away the thing that you love the most. That was Cartel Galeno talking. That wasn't Oil Galeno talking. So hopefully, for the sake of Tommy, that he doesn't fuck him over, or fuck him over on accident, and leaves him with even more, Galeno with more debt, to where Tommy could pay for this with either his life or his family's life. So we shall see, I guess, right? Do you have anything else from this episode you want to talk about or bring up?
Um, just the whole Thomas thing with, I forget her name. Cheyenne, is that her name?
Cheyenne. Yep,
Yeah.
Cheyenne.
Um, we'll see what happens in season 3 with them. I do want, like, I'm excited. It sounds like Thomas is going to have like a more substantial role in next season if he's still
Thank
with season.
God.
Yeah, like not staring in the sunset or falling into pools, but like actually like doing something interesting. So we'll see like what happens if she's still around for season 3. Yeah, it's just I want to see more action for Sam Elliott, like more actual like meaty roles, and not just, like I said, just staring into the sunset and contemplating life and just kind of being like this sad guy. So we'll see.
It's almost like they put Sam Elliott in this Demi Moore role. Like, hey, Demi didn't really do anything in season 1. She had a bigger role in season 2. Hopefully for Sam, we get more from season 3 now that he's I forgot oral manager or something. I can't remember this. I can't remember his role, but hopefully we get more of him in this element, since that's what Tia did for the better part of 40 years prior to being at nursing home. I will say this too, and I want to give Taylor and the writers credit for this. Thank you for leaving TL and Shine's relationship suggested off screen and not showing any type of weird shit between an old man and a young lady. Like I really truly appreciate them doing that, because it would have got real weird seeing a 70-year-old man fooling around with a 28, 29-year-old woman. So I'm glad that was like suggested off scene and talked about, and not actually demonstrated on screen. So
All they did was cuddle, Frank. All they did was cuddle. So,
a couple handies too from what they talked about.
you got to take it when you can, where you can get it, I guess, if you are Thomas. So good for him. I like that he, when Tommy's asking him about it, he's like, number 1, it's none of your business. And then he's like, and number 2, it's none of your damn business. And then he laughed at his own joke. I thought that was hilarious.
Right. Well, that is it for us for the season finale of season 2 of Landman. Again, thank y'all so much for following us throughout the season. Marcy and I will be back for whenever season 3 comes back. We have some shows coming out. We're gonna be real busy coming out. Like tomorrow, Justin and myself, we're doing Wonder Man, a season wrap up for that. We got Daredevil coming out next month. We have Bridgerton. Have y'all started Bridgerton already, Marcy?
We haven't started it yet, so that will probably be coming in the next couple weeks or so. But yeah, season 4 of Bridgerton.
Got Bridgerton coming up. We got Daredevil. We got season 3 Enemy of the Vampire, the Stats season coming up. We have White Marshals. I think now it's just called Marshals, from what I've understood.
Coming in March, yeah.
Coming in March. So we have a busy slate coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned. If there's anything y'all want to cover, man, leave a comment on any of these videos. Stop a like, subscribe, share. Road to 500, guys. Road to 500. Check us out, please. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere, man. Look us up. Watcher's Basement. For myself, for Marcy, Justin, the producer, Brittany for making our beautiful slate this season for Landman Graphics. Thank y'all so much, man. We'll see you on the flip side.